Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for joining me on this massive episode in the series. We've already won 2 trophies with York City, the Premier League title and the League Cup. We're now about to play the FA Cup final and then the Champions League final. Massive games, I'm really excited about them and pessimistic at the same time. If you haven't done so already, go grab yourselves a cup of tea or a beverage because this could be an interesting ride. Right boys, before we jump into the FA Cup final against Brighton, let's quickly catch up on the Premier League and see what happened there. So we finished top of the table on 99 points, that was 13 clear of Liverpool, which gave us a goal difference of 81 to their 52, so we dominated the league. And when you consider how Liverpool dominated the title for 3 years on the bounce with City and United just behind them, all 3 years as well, I think that's good going to overturn those 3 teams. If you have a quick look at the player stats, João Lara, our big man up front, has been by far the outstanding player. He won Young Players Player of the Year as well. And then looking at the season preview, we were predicted 7th. So again, we've done fantastic. The sponsorship deals, United are on 230 million income from sponsorship. We're down in 19th on almost 13 million. So it just gives you an idea of the scale of the task at hand for us. And then into the schedule, the 2 games you missed recently was United 4-0 at home, really good omen for the Champions League final hopefully, and we also beat Aston Villa in a hard-fought 4-2 away victory. João Lara was fantastic in both those games. He scored a hat-trick against Man United, including this goal, and he also scored a couple of goals against Aston Villa. My only concern is Lara is not a big game player at all. We saw it last year in the League Cup final and we saw it this year in the League Cup final. So a little bit worried about that, seeing as he's our main goal threat. Also Sagnier, who plays on the left wing, is not a big game player either. That brings me to the team meeting about the final itself. We're going to go with an I'm proud of you and we don't expect you to win. I know it seems weird, seems we're against Brighton, but we need to take the pressure off those big players that could crumble on the day. And the team talk at the start of the first half is going to do that as well. Going back into the schedule, for those who maybe haven't been following the series properly, first of all, why not? Only kidding. Let's have a quick look at the FA Cup so you can see where the journey started and finished. So we beat Fleetwood 5-0. Then Reading 4-0. We then beat Man United away 4-2 before we beat Liverpool at home 2-0 and Manchester City in the semi-final dispatched easily 2-0 as well. So we definitely deserve to be here. We've played all the big teams, the big 3 from the last 3 years in the Premier League. So I think our position in the final is definitely warranted. Right guys, let's jump on to the final itself, the FA Cup. Massive moment. This is for the domestic treble and to set us up nicely for the quadruple. I'm kind of in 2 minds at the moment as to how I feel about the whole thing. If we win both these games, I'm not quite sure what that's going to do for this save in general, whether it means I'm going to stop or whether I'm going to carry on, but we'll talk about that as the games begin. So the team for coming up against Brighton, I'm going with the 4-4-2. We're going with an attacking mentality, which is risky because if you have a look at the opposition report, it would suggest that they're going to play with a cautious mentality and on the counter. That means we're playing right into Brighton's hands. I'm just hoping our team is big enough and strong enough to overpower them. I'm leaving Sagnier out purely for the reason that he doesn't play great in big games. I'm bringing Chevalier in instead. Lara is going to have to play. He's just too much of the big player despite him possibly crumbling in the game. The massive miss for us is Alex Lewis, who's suspended. And more importantly, Lewis Herbert. My key centre-back has been out for the last month with a twisted ankle. And he's not back for 6 days to 2 weeks. So he's going to miss the Champions League final as well in theory. Right boys, no more messing about. Let's jump into the game itself. So looking at the Brighton team, there's not an awful lot to be worried about there in my opinion. They've got a couple of decent players. Grubb's a good player as well, but he's 34 now, so he's not exactly fast. Guagis, again, not an awful lot to worry about. And then Dikiko, yeah. So we should be beating these guys pretty easily. But it all comes down to little things like team talks, how you prepare your training, and all those little things there. Right, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to mess too much with Lara. He seems quite motivated, so we'll see how his body language responds as the game goes on. Like I say, Lara is really important for us. Massive, massive player, and we need him to turn up. So keeping his mentality right through the whole game could decide whether we win or lose this game. Brighton with the first highlight. Lara's nicked it off. Jedvad, I think that was. Pass it, or shoot. Terrible, terrible miss. Why he didn't pass it there, I am not quite sure. Denaya's has been booked, and we've got a free kick. Stella picks the ball up, back out to Denaya. What's he going to do? Back to Stella, the centre-back. Denaya gets the ball in to Todorovic. Out wide to Gunny, the centre-back. What he's doing there, I'm not sure. Todorovic back out to Gunny. Get the ball in. Go on. Yes, Lara, get in. Juanma Lara, 39th goal of the season. And we were just saying he's not a big game player. Now, when I say big game player, guys, you can actually have a look in the coach's report for each player and see what the personality traits are. Within there should probably be a picture, I think it is, of a football pitch. And if that's in the negatives, that means they generally crumble in the big games. That doesn't mean... Hang on, Jean Malara's in again. Dispossessed. We've got a corner. That doesn't mean that categorically they will not turn up during any game. You can help them by giving good team talks, holding good meetings, and generally managing their morale very well. Chevalier is open. He's got to... Oh, I should have stuck that away. Another corner though. Good start to the game this. Chevalier with the corner. Swings one in. Stella at the back post couldn't get on the end of it as Bissouma picks up the loose ball, and that is a great tackle from Agresta. He's a centre forward, so to get back with work rate like that is a very good sign. That means the lads are up for it. Capadonna to Stella. Stella swings one in. Denaya crosses. Oh, Lara, how did you miss that? How could you miss from there? It would have been easier to score. Long throw coming here. Cavalio's telling them all to get into the box. Todorovic back to Denaya. And is that allowed or is it offside? Offside. I think there was a deflection from Agresta. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that was disallowed. Unless it was for there maybe, but... Yeah. Ah, it was the pass back to Denaya, that's why. And we've reached half-time at 1-0 up. Now, apparently there's a bruised shin there for... I think it was for Gunny. But he doesn't seem to be struggling, so we're going to keep him on. I'm just very wary that to lose another centre-back, on top of the fact we've already lost our main centre-back Herbert to injury, is going to be a disaster for the final in the Champions League. Strickland, good header down. To Denaya, to Agresta, and that is a sensational goal, but it's disallowed. It's disallowed, boys. Thought we were 2-0 up there. Unlucky. Just offside. Todorovic moves the ball forward. He's into the box, and he misses. Right, I've seen enough of this. I'm starting to panic that they're going to nick a goal on the counter. So... we're going to make some changes. Denaya on at right midfield. Agresta's coming on up front. And I want to get Strickland off for Muck, who is a deep line playmaker. Because I'm hoping he might be able to find a pass over the top as Brighton go more attacking. They're going to have to come out the shell at some point. Like the coaches and scouts were saying, they play with a cautious defensive mentality. But they can't keep doing that all game. Otherwise they're going to lose the final. Ryan with the ball out wide. Gargis, someone get a foot in. Don't let them get in on goal. Come on. Nati to Bissouma. Bissouma's working the ball forward. I don't like this. That was a terrible shot though. Awful. We've had 2 goals disallowed, guys. 2 goals disallowed. 4 clear-cut chances. 3 half chances. We've been dominating this, but it's only 1-0. We should have been way in the lead. Right, we've got 13 minutes remaining in the game, so I'm going to go to cautious, and I'm going to tell the lads to regroup and hold their shape now, because at some point Brighton are going to have to come out. They can't possibly keep sitting back. If they do, then it'll be the weirdest cup final. 4 minutes to win the domestic treble. We're now down to a minute and a half. Come on. Get your tackling. Well done. Todorovic is brilliant at that. Getting the ball back, and then he's so fast. Look at him go. Go on, Todorovic. Go on, lad. Oh, he skews it wide, though. And unfortunately, that is the end product we quite often see from him as well. I wouldn't change it, though. And that's it. We've won the FA Cup. What a start to the game. Sorry, what a start to the episode. Brilliant. Just quickly watch those celebrations. Soak it in. 21 shots, 7 on target, 5 clear-cut chances, 4 half chances. Brighton had 2 shots on target all game. They were disgraceful. Didn't even turn up. There we are. Right, boys, we're now going to be playing Manchester United in the Champions League final. I've lost sleep over this game because we have beaten Man United more often than not, but they've given us a really tough game every time we've played them, and they've always been very good on the front foot. Okay, boys, this is probably the biggest team meeting I will ever hold as York City manager. It's the Champions League Cup final. What do you say to them? Well, I think we're just going to go with I'm proud of you all for reaching the final. It's got a good reaction. Like I said before, we've got Lara, who tends to underperform on the big occasion. The same with Sagnier, both very big players for us up front and on the left wing. So we need to take that into account when we're doing these talks. So Manchester United are 5-4 favourites, as you can see, guys. The past meetings is York 4 wins, Man United 1 and 1 draw. So we've got that in our favour, but in all reality, it doesn't mean shit, to be honest. As for the overview, they reckon they're going to go with a cautious mentality and a gegenpress. Not a fan of coming up against that. I think we're going to go with the cautious tactic, to be honest. I was wanting to go attacking, which is our usual style, but when you consider they've got Pellegrini, who's such a big game player, along with the likes of Vinicius Jr. on the left, Greenwood on the right, you've got a lot of speed there and ability to get in behind. Iwear's the attacking midfielder as well. He's very handy, and 2 central midfielders that can pick out passes, Visa especially. I mean, look at that finishing 19 for a central midfielder. That's massive. So I think we're going to have to play them at their own game. Not that. Play them at their own game, go cautious, and just try and sit in a little bit and see how the game pans out. This is the team we're going to go with, so I'll quickly break it down for you. We've got Joanma Lara. As I was saying to you, he's not a fan of the big matches, but we'll try and handle that through the team talks. We've then got Agresta. He is a big game player, and he can do a little bit of everything as well. He's good in the air as well as good in front of goal. Sagnier, not a big game player, but I'm loving his speed, and if we're going to play on the counter-attack, we're going to need it. We then got Strickland in the deep line playmaker role. Good at picking out a pass. He can go missing in some games, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen today. And then we've got Todorovic, the man that can really counter. 17 speed, 17 acceleration, and just really good on the ball. We've got Denea, again, a speedy player, very good on the ball. Carvalho at right back, fast, just good all-round player, technically brilliant. Capadonna's playing left back, similar, not as good technically, but he is very quick. He's been reliable all season. Then Nicolo Stella, the main man at centre back, he is our second choice. Unfortunately, Herbert is missing, and Gunny is third choice centre back. He's getting a game he wouldn't usually play in, so hopefully he can turn up. And then we have Savage in goal. This man is going to be very important, I feel. Right, guys, let's not mess about. Let's get into the Champions League final itself. So we've had a quick look at their team, the main players anyway. The defence looks pretty solid as well, and Hakimi is going to be a nightmare down that left wing, as is Wan-Bissaka down the right. I think this is going to be a case of see who comes out on top with the cautious mentality. Both teams are going with a very similar approach to the game, so it'll be interesting to see who gets over the line. Carvalho with the first highlight to Agresta. Agresta inside. Ooh, I thought that might have floated in, but De Gea saves. 17 minutes in and very few highlights so far. There's not an awful lot happening. This is what happens when we're not on the attacking mentality. Denea from the corner to Stella, and that is a stunning header. What a header. Stella is not that good in the air at all. I think he's got 12 for jumping reach and 13 for heading, possibly. Might be the other way around. He's not header of the ball, but that is a corker, that. Brilliant. Dene with a lovely assist. Right, we're 1-0 up, guys. It's a good start to the game. I think I'm going to demand more from them. Let's just see if we can maybe get another goal on the counter. If we can, it's going to make the game much more comfortable. I'm liking how many bodies we've got back to deal with this. They are still dangerous despite that. Whoa. Almost gave away a penalty and they score anyway. Pellegrini. This is the only other side of going with the cautious mentality, where we are drawing them onto us. They can play. They really can. So when they get in behind like that, it's going to be a tough ask. Gunny is feeling pressured by the feedback, so I'll have to be careful with that half time. Wan-Bissaka out. Strickland picks up the loose ball. Back to Capadonna, the left back. Swings one over to Dene on the right wing. Through to Agresta. Agresta. It's in! Joan Malara, 40th goal of the season. The man who apparently can't play in big matches. Yes, it was a slide tackle over the line, but we'll take it. Agresta links up. Lovely. With Lara. We needed that. I was a little bit worried that with United getting the goal, it may turn into a dominant display from them. We've not had any clear-cut chances or half chances in that first half. That is very, very unlike us. We'd usually have 2 or 3 at least. I think that speaks volumes for the system we're playing. Very negative compared to my usual approach, but I feel like it's necessary. Our way over the free kick. Swings one in. Back to Pellegrini, but there's many bodies behind the ball, and that is a great clearance from Sagnier. I thought we might be on for a break there, but unfortunately not. I think we'll have Agresta off and we'll get Louis on, because he can play well in the big games. We're also going to have Sagnier off for Chevalier. And I'm thinking Todorovic maybe needs to come off, but I'm going to wait before we make that switch. I'm going to wait. Is it wrong that I'm tempted to go attacking? Because they're going to have to come out the blocks at some point and do something, aren't they? They can't just keep sitting back. Similar to the Brighton game, really. We'll hold our nerve for now. Stella, ball out wide to Dene. Dene with the ball through to Cavallio on the overlap, the right back. He's in behind. What's he going to do? Oh, great save by De Gea. Great save. That would have been some goal. Dene over the corner. Swings one in. That's an easy gather. No one there. They've had a couple of clear-cut chances so far. I think it's time for one more switch. Let's get Todorovic off for Schuller. Schuller, again, is another player who can play quite well on the big occasion, according to his report. I had a look at this before the game. I looked through every single player, checked the report, and just saw who performs well in big games. I think that is vital that you understand that if you're going to have any chance of performing well in a final. If you play a number of players that just can't perform on the big stage, you're knackered before you even get started. We've just told the guys to hold the shape, guys, and to regroup. That's because I feel like United are really going to come at us now, and we're playing a pressing game despite still being cautious. Nice little chip to Chevalier. Swings one in. Schuller to Cavallio, the right back. What's he going to do? Oh, it's a goal-mouth scramble, but nothing happening. They're on the counter. Garofalo, it's a terrible name. And he can't do anything. Hits the ball wide. We've got more than enough numbers back there to deal with it. 4 minutes left. Come on. Come on. 1 minute. We're going to win the quadruple if we can see this out. Seconds remaining. And we're there. Oh. Cue the music. Absolutely amazing. Second season in the Premier League. This is our 7th season in the series after coming all the way from the National League North, and we've won the Champions League final against Manchester United. We were not the better team really. We played the better game, but we didn't have any clear-cut chances. But I think if we'd have gone with that attacking strategy, mentality, sorry, I always get that wrong, I think we would have lost that game, or we'd have at least struggled. At least we came away with the win. Lara, 40th goal of the season. What a way to bag that. And we've done it. Victorious quadruple, boys. I am in shock, delighted, and also a little bit sad because I don't know what that means for the save. Jump in the comments, guys. What do you think? What should I do from here? If I'm going to carry on this save, I am going to carry on with York. I'm not going with another team, purely because we've got so many great youngsters coming through, and I'd love to see how they develop. But at the same time, have I now completed this save? Is there any point in carrying on? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Right, boys, that is it. We've won the Champions League and we've won the quadruple. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get alerts of when new episodes go live. We do have the Sea Dogs Can Fly series, which we've just started in the 7th tier of English football, and we just got promotion as well to the National League North. So we're following a similar journey to York City, only starting lower down, and it's got a real personal value to me, so that's worth catching up on as well. There's also loads of hints and tips coming as well, including this tactic that won us the Champions League final and the tactic that just dominated the whole season, so watch out for that. Okay, chaps, stay safe, guys, during this little virus of ours, and I'll keep trying to keep you entertained. See you later.